Movie review of For His Love, with story and screenplay by Bambam Omoni Michael Inyang, directed by Magnifique Ecrivain. Produced by Tomi Adeoye and Susan Ogutuga and executively produced by Omoni Oboli, also starring as Nora. This movie, titled For His Love, is now streaming on the latter's YouTube channel with same name. Synopsis: Nora and Tess are sisters. Nora, on the one hand, is a workaholic who literally has no life outside running their family empire, Akintala Group, owned by their father, Chief Akintala. Tess, on the other hand, is a carefree clubber cum alcoholic who loves life to the latter. The demise of their dad will see a reading of his last will and testament. This consequently triggers a reaction from some aggrieved parties to find out what the will entailed and who it affected the most. Follow events unfold in this drama. My take: this movie started on a really strong, intense note, so much so that from the takeoff, I was already invested. Still kinda skeptical what the turnout would be, it progressed brilliantly and held my interest. However, from the second act, it seemed to have derailed from its purpose or target. It then felt all over the place, making it appear like the writer had lost track of their original plan, in my opinion. In all honesty, if you ask me, this had huge prospects, and I was so hoping it wouldn't take the route it eventually took. The title, I felt, would be a major source of twist, but that ended up making the movie predictable in a certain kind of way. Loved the sister relationship between Omoni and Bambam and how they both interpreted it. It was natural. The story was a solid, but I sincerely wished it didn't go the way it did. The ending was, however, pleasant, with the infusion of the "oh dogu please" phrase. Even though it seemed forced into this movie being drawn from the executive producer's viral movie Love, and every word it nonetheless makes one smile. The plot was not tightrope enough, and the direction wasn't steady. Pretty much like there were plenty captains in charge of this ship. It didn't really feel coordinated, in my opinion. Camera quality was good, interior decor was okay, hair and makeup were cool, location and props were equally amazing. One lesson one drew from here is that sometimes people make decisions that may not make sense to others until much later. This is seen in Chief Akintala's character. As with everything else under the sun, this movie isn't without its flaws. Hence, observations 1. When Tess saw Kelechi standing in her office, how could she not recognize him from the rear, especially for someone she's known that long? 2. There was a missed line from Bambam playing Tess when she referred to Nora as Tessie, or does Nora have another name? Script supervisor should have been able to detect this. I guess it's an oversight. It can happen to the best of us. 3. Wait a sec. So you mean to tell me Tess did not know about David and Nora? Wow. I guess they weren't so close as sisters the way they made it appear after all. Tess really didn't know much about Nora, to be honest. Her surprise in the end of the movie made it seem like they were long-lost sisters who just reunited. It then confused the whole sisterliness between them. 4. Okay, someone please explain to me how Tess could trust a person she seemingly had just met in few weeks to the extent of accepting a merger and almost enforcing it, contemplating using her veto powers. 5. Speaking of powers, what was all that disrespect in that boardroom, especially from that Uncle Jide? Like, who does that? I know this is a movie, but there's a thing called believability, right? It made the movie appear childish, as that was so uncalled for and far-fetched. I rolled my eyes a million times in those scenes. 6. Casting-wise, I was elated seeing Omoni play a role in this movie, albeit the turnout wasn't as pleasing for a viewer like myself. At this point, I guess it is safe to say spouses of these actors do not watch the movies of their spouses, cause cannot that I have anything against kissing, but it's now almost as if the kissing is what would make the movie sell. Even Oibo way we day try copying nor do reach this. 7. Still on casting, I'll pretend like it's the first time I'm seeing Omoni Oboli. Pairing with Eso Dike and being passed off as same age or near age mates was a no-no for me. If they insisted on casting both, then there are different ways to have gone about it, at least from where I stand. From Nora's body language and many more factors, one could tell the difference. It's pretty much like casting Angelina Jolie and Aaron Pierre as a couple in a movie and passing them off as same age simply because the former has an ever-young physique. Hello. No offense intended, please. 8. What an expensively risky trust. Again, it's a movie, but what kind of a father does that? For the twist in the end. I guess the writer was trying hard to find a way to complicate the movie by giving us plenty twists and turns. But were some of these twists worth it? 9. Please make it make sense that their father had that much to will to every member of the family, yet in about 2 months after his passing, the company was at imminent risk of bankruptcy, which had been threatening way before his passing. I know someone would say shareholders were beginning to lack faith and trust, but come on, it didn't exactly add up. 10. Title: Can someone please explain to me the connection between the content of this movie and its title, cause I'm truly not digging it. Whose love are we talking about here? Their fathers or Calicki's? Be that as it may, overall, this was relaxing to watch. The duration wasn't so viewer-friendly, but I got my ways. Engaging, I just wish this had continued on the momentum it started with. I didn't enjoy it. It was boring. I thought of everything you pointed out. How could she not know her sister's boyfriend? So Akintala had so much money and properties, and the company was sinking. Hulala. Let's not even talk about the scene where she was told her dad had passed. So she was with the phone, and after hearing the news passed it on to her boyfriend, and the next thing was his reaction. Oh please. The person on the other line kept talking even after Omoni had dropped the phone, or what? The viewers should guess what happened. I suppose the board meeting scene was totally a disaster. Who picks up a call while the CEO is making a presentation? The whole shenanigans was unrealistic. Bam was supposed to probably prove her sister wrong by saving the company rather than still making her look weak. I guess the title for his love was coined from the fact that Omoni was fighting for the love of her father, as she assumed he preferred his youngest daughter over her. After putting all the work, and he ended up willing it to his nonchalant youngest daughter. Let's not even talk about pairing Omoni and SO+. Why was she kissing like that? It was so awkward and weird, like she didn't know how to kiss. I totally understand Tess' decision with the merger. She wasn't the one who introduced it initially. It was Nora. And remember, the board had great trust in Nora's decisions. So being that she earlier brought it prior to their father's death, which Noon questioned, and Tess has now entered a relationship with David, it only becomes natural for her to want to push for it. Remember, nobody questioned Nora's decisions because she always comes out clean. So to her, for Nora to have suggested it means it is the right thing to do. And again, she was desperate. She needed to save the company. Nobody believed her, and the company was fast sinking into bankruptcy. She needed to provide a solution to the problem ASAP, and that came in handy. The merger with David's company wasn't her original plan. David suggested it, and checking their records, Nora already talked about it in the past, so it was easy to click. I will rate it for over 10.